In every endeavor, in every job, there's a so-called glamour position, and there are people who are CEOs no matter what the job is. For instance, I threw newspapers one time. I had a college degree, but I didn't have any money, so I threw newspapers. And when I went in there, there was a guy that had been there for like 20 years or more, and he was like the big dog. He was a paper carrier just like I was. He threw papers just like I did, but he was like the big dog, and he was the man. There's always that position, always that person. Let me give you two examples of what I have found out. You can glamorize any position, no matter how low it is, how undesirable it is. Once you put value to it, other people will be drawn to it. When I was in the Air Force, 19 years old, I had one stripe. I was the lowest man on the totem pole. And so they put me in a position called PAR. They called it the pit. Now, this position handled planes from 10 miles to the ground. And you had to talk to the plane, to the pilot, every 5 seconds. And you had to line him up with the runway, and you had to put him on the proper glide slope. Nobody wanted this position. And so they put me in that position every day. It was like they were relegating me to that position. To me, that was the most important part of the flight, getting the guy on the ground, getting the plane on the ground. Well, I did that job every single day. They put me in that position every single day. I was a rated controller in other positions, but they put me in the pit every single day. To the point that I was really, really, really good at it. One day, the U.S. Air Force had an air show at our base, and they brought in all these different aircraft, all kinds of aircraft that I had never controlled before. And this was the day before the air show. It was completely overcast, like a storm was coming in. The visibility was less than 1/2 of a mile. Well, in those conditions, you're supposed to execute a missed approach, and they're supposed to land somewhere else. No, they wanted this plane on the ground. Okay, so I had the last plane, and because I had the last plane that was coming in that day, they put it on the monitor, so everyone on the intercom, everybody could hear it. So everybody was just standing around listening to my run, and I was talking to the aircraft, and that pilot couldn't see anything, and I had him on course, on glide path, so much so that when he broke out, when he got to the runway, the end of the runway, at 1/2 of a mile, he was perfectly aligned and on perfect glide slope. He came in, landed, touched down, and he said, "Thank you very much, sir. I could not have done this without you." Now, everybody in there heard that. They never had anyone say that to them. Do you know, after that day, I could not get back in the pit. Everybody wanted to be in the pit, so I started working in other positions. What started out to be this lowly position, now everybody wanted it. I was 19 years old. After I got out of the military, I was in college, and I worked in the dietary department of Pomona Valley Hospital. And I was the pot man. When I got there, they put me in pot man for several reasons that I won't say here, but they put me in as pot man. Okay. When I first got there, the pots were just stacked all the way up, and it was like a grungy job. But the glamour position was cart man. Cart man was the person who, after the cart was loaded with all the food, that person would take it to the elevator, take it up to the floors, and then the nurse's assistants or whoever, they would distribute the food. And then after the patient ate the food, the cart man would go back up, get the cart, bring it back down, take it into the place where he had to unload it, and they put all that through the dishwasher. It's an industrial-sized dishwasher. To me, I thought that was a lot of work, pushing that big cart. So, with the pots, I got that down to a science. So much so that I was standing around watching them work, standing back there talking to them while they were unloading the cart. And they start seeing that. It's like, does this guy ever work? But they look at my station, the pot man station, and it was spotless. There were no pots. And they started, how do you do that? I said, I have a system. And they came and started looking at my system. And do you know, after that, I couldn't get pot man. Here's my point. I hope you're seeing my point. You can glamorize anything. You ever hear people say, after you break up with someone, that person starts dressing differently and looking better and everything? No, they look the same. That person looks the same. It's just that the next person that dates that person appreciates that person more than you do. So now that person has appeal to you because someone else values them. I've been in thrift shops and I pick something up and say, wow, look at this. Just try this sometime. Go into a thrift shop, pick up something and just say, wow, look at this. Everybody in that thrift shop will look, and you put that down. I watch people just scurry over there and pick that up, what I just had. And then people will buy what I just said. Wow, look at this. And I've played games like that. I'd go into it, but it proves my point. If you value something, if you put great value on something, other people will begin to value it as well. The whole world works that way. So no matter what you're doing, if you're in some kind of grunge job, if you start acting like you really like that job, that you really enjoy that job, I'm telling you, they would take you out of that job and put you in something else. My final one. I worked at a major motion picture company, and they gave me this office. This office had windows all the way around it. So they call it the fishbowl. Nobody wanted that office. What I did, I put movie posters in all of those windows. So you could see the movie posters from outside my office and from inside my office. Then I turned off the lights, the neon ceiling lights, and I had just this one like lamp. Everybody came into my office, they said, wow, the ambiance of your office is just great. And everybody wanted to come in my office. And I had little snacks in there and everything. And do you know, people with corner offices, big offices, they envied my office. Everybody wanted my office. And do you know, that was an office that was 3 times the size of my office. After I left there, do you know, I was told people were fighting over that office. That same office nobody wanted, that fishbowl. Now, everybody wanted that office. I'm telling you, if you add value, if you value something and other people see you valuing that, they will value it as well.